Welcome to Green Treasure at Prof. Mwani.
Visual weight, a role in designing selfie points in parks and urban centers. Kashmir, where every frame tells a story. Good day to everyone. Today I will talk about how visual weight plays a key role in designing selfie points in parks and urban centers with examples from Kashmir. The idea is simple: guide the eye and attract attention and create memorable experience. In this presentation, we will explore key design elements, which we call them as 5 levers also, and some real examples from Kashmir that use these visual weight levers effectively for creating selfie points. First of all, let us discuss visual weight. Visual weight is the perceived importance or dominance of an element within a composition, or it is how much your eye is pulled to something in a scene. That something, that is the element. Element can be a color, can be a texture, can be a size, can be a position of an structure, based on its ability to attract and hold the viewer's eye. So that means a visual weight acts as a gravity for your eyes. As you will see, how much an object grabs your attention in a picture. It is size, its color, its shape, texture. It being small, quiet, or sharp makes a big difference. That means heavy elements will pull your attention, while as light, let it rest. As you understand, it is design focused. It is the invisible force that tells your eye, look here, not there. And visual weight is why your eye looks there first. It's how architects and artists control attention without a single word. So visual weight guides attention, creates focus, establishes hierarchy, and brings balance and harmony to your composition or to your scene. How visual weight works and how you design with these 5 levers. As you will see, our 5 levers include size, color, tone, contrast, position, shape and texture, and space. Now we will discuss them one by one. Size. A large elements attract more attention. Suppose in this frame you have a large tree, so it will have more visual weight. And if it is here, it will be small, lighter, it will have a less visual weight. So how it works now? Larger elements dominate our attention and feel heavier. Similarly, on the basis of the color, you have bold, warm, dark colors, they feel heavier. As you have dark, saturated, warm and red colors, they are more prominent, and as a visual weight, they have a heavier visual weight. While as light, muted, light green, they will be having a less visual weight and they are lighter in weight. So bold, warm, saturated colors, they pop forward and feel heavier. Light, muted colors, and they recede and feel lighter. Similarly, a contrast. High contrast feels heavier. Here we have a high versus background. Our front is with more contrast than the back, so it will look as heavier. While as when low versus background, now we have this as a low versus the background. So High contrast grabs attention. Similarly, it is taking an attention here and grabs attention and feels heavier. Low contrast blends in and feels lighter. And one of the more levers is the position now. Where you position your element in a garden or in an urban center. Where you place it changes the visual pull. If it is at center, top, foreground, it will be heavier. It will have a more visual weight. Then if it is at the edge or at the bottom or at the background, so it will have a lighter visual weight or it will be having a less weight. So elements in center, top or foreground feels heavier. Edges, bottom or background feels lighter. Similarly, shape and texture plays an important role in visual weight. Complex, rough textures feel heavier. If you have a complex, rough, irregular and solid, it's heavier in weight compared to the simple, smooth, geometric and transparent. So that will have less visual weight. So complex, irregular shapes and rough textures weigh more. Simple, smooth shapes feel lighter. Similarly, a space now. More space around feels heavier. You have an isolated central position of this tree. It is looking heavier here as compared to a crowded one. So isolated elements with breathing space feel heavier and crowded elements they compete and feel lighter. So with these 5 levers, size, color, contrast and position, shape and texture and space, they control the movement and the mood without any signs. So when you have a balance, that creates a peace and imbalance creates tension. So this is how the elements in a visual weight works. Now visual weight in landscape design. You see, in landscape design, some areas of composition are more noticeable. As you will see, this area is more noticeable as compared to this area, and creating an attraction and more interest. As you will see in this picture, this area is creating a more attraction and more attention, while others fade in the background. Now we have two things here: high visual weight, low visual weight, and how the design goal will be there. High visual weight usually comes from a group of plants which are upright. They can be upright plants, tall, bright colors, bold texture. That means they have bold texture and they will be in diagonal lines. So this will be high visual weight. It will have more attraction. As compared to low visual weight, it is found in low horizontal lines and the prostrate or the low forms and fine texture with dull colors. So this is fine texture here with dull colors. So this is how a low visual weight, it fades in the background. So balance high and low visual weight to create harmony, guide movement and set the mood. So this is how a visual weight is making this area more prominent, high visual weight, and the low visual weight is making this area as low, and it is fading in the background. So similarly, you will see in this picture also that you have a maple tree here. It's more prominent because of its position and because of its color. And as you see the size, if it is taller and brighter, larger feels heavier, and then warm color is red, and here it is the cool colors, they recede. And texture, rough texture and the smooth texture. Also placement of, if it is placed at center, and the shape of this is that bold and complex shapes weigh more than simple ones. So now you have to see too much weight on one side feels uneasy. Now you have to balance the picture. That is, perfect balance feels peaceful if it is balanced on all the sides. So balanced weight creates natural movement and flow. Similarly, let us understand what is the selfie point formula? Selfie point formula, it has three-part rule using visual weight in parks and urban centers. The first is every photogenic spot needs first one heavy anchor, and the thing people pose with, that can be a clock tower as it is here, it can be sculpture, it can be old tree, it can be a mural wall, it can be dark, big and detailed structure. So that means you need to have a heavy anchor, that is the main object. People pose with strong dark objects. And second is you have to maintain light areas also. The space that makes pop, open sky, there should be empty plaza, water body, lawn, light, simple, uncluttered. That means there should be no disordered jumble. As you will see here, it is clear there should be light areas into it, and then it should have a clean framing also. Clean framing means nothing should be fighting for attention except this structure. You have to hide dustbins, you have to hide signboards, wires behind the anchor. Your main anchor will be this, and others will be, they will be in hiding, and you control the background. And also you have to see that selfie point has to pass the B&W test. B&W is the black and white test. What is this black and white test? That is, if you take a B&W photo and you see one dark shape plus empty space, it will work as a selfie point. If you see noise, it won't. We will discuss B&W in the next slide. But here, for understanding, if this is the scene here, you will see noise, it won't work. There will be no picture, too many elements, no clear anchor. But on this side, there is one dark shape and then there is empty space, it works. So you are taking a color photo and then in a gallery you are shifting it to a BW mode, and then within 1 second you see what objects are more prominent and dark. So the three-part rule works here: heavy anchor, light areas and clean framing. And then it should also work, that will work when it will pass this BW test. Now do this versus not this. So you will have to see how to create a gravity, and you should avoid creating a noise. First of all, you have to place one strong element in open plaza. We'll take an example of Gantaghar in Lal Chowk. This is one Gantaghar and this is whole plaza. So position is central, and if you will, it will create gravity. It will create attention of your eye. But if you are making a scatter many elements everywhere, so it creates a noise. Suppose here it creates a noise. There are no number of elements, so you can't see. Your eye will not focus on any element, so it will create a noise. And then you have to use sky, water, lawn as a negative space behind subjects. Suppose you have a Gantaghar here, the rest should be open spaces. They will work as a gravity. While as you will have to put hoardings, wires or clutter. Clutter is a confused, disordered jumble as you see here. So that is to be put behind the people. And also you have to take care of the light. You will light the anchor, not the background at night. And then if you will create a noise if you floodlight the whole area equally. The idea here is you have to make your anchor more prominent. So this will create a noise. And also you have to frame with trees, arcades to block distraction on the backdrop of it. And here, if you want to create a noise, you leave 360 degrees of visual chaos around the subject spot. Now we take an example here as a Lal Chowk. Suppose we have a Lal Chowk tower or the Gantaghar tower, and it is equal to heavy plaza. It is heavy, tower is heavy, and then it is a plaza plus sky, that is light. So here tower is heavy, the rest is light. That is why it creates gravity. So the bottom line here is, don't design decoration, you design gravity. People will stand where their eyes are pulled, and they will stand here. They will not stand here. If you remember nothing else, remember one heavy plus two light anchors. It will be a viral photo. So visual weight in action. There are 5 mistakes that are killing your selfies. What are those mistakes? And why plazas look great in person but they fail on camera? So you have to understand what are the mistakes. Suppose you are taking too many anchors, and now what will happen? See this picture. You have number of statues here, so it will not work. Suppose 3 statues plus 2 fountains and is equal eye has nowhere to rest. But at the same time, quick fix now. You have one, pick one hero, hide or group the rest. So it works. In addition to this, you have an cluttered backgrounds. So you have to avoid disordered jumble. Hoardings, wires, AC units, they fight the person for attention. So use trees, walls or sky as a clean backdrop. Here wires and others are there, but you maintain it with the help of these trees, and they create an attention towards this point only. At the same time, you have an equal lighting. Now if you create an equal lighting, if everything is bright at night, nothing feels important. It's very important point. So what you have to do, suppose here everything is decorated, here light is everywhere, so no attention will be taken by the main anchor. But if it is darkened on the background, only this is lighted, spotlight the anchor, let background stay 70% darker. So it works. So fourth is no negative space. If crowding selfie spot with planters, railings and tiles. Now if you are taking this as an India gate, see here different planters are there and different other elements are there. It will not grab your attention, and you have to leave 5 meters of empty floor and sky behind as a subject. Then you can create a visual weight for this anchor. So the golden test, take a phone photo. As I said, turn it BMW mode, and you squint, focus on it. If you cannot spot the main object in 1 second, your selfie point will fail. So this is what BMW is used. We will discuss it in the next slide. So if you remember now, people don't share photos where they look lost, and you design gravity for the person, not just the place. So these are 5 mistakes which you have to avoid in BMW. As you see here, if it is not darker, so it will not work. Now here, because almost all of them are gray, so it will not work. In this picture, if it is more darker and the rest is light, that means your selfie will be 100% viral. Now let us understand, does visual weight apply to Mona Lisa? A big yes. You see how it has been applied to the Mona Lisa. Leonardo da Vinci used visual weight for this. He has placed the position. See, Mona Lisa position exact at the center. So it has a maximum weight. First anchor is at the center of the portrait. And now position center. So it will have maximum weight. Mona Lisa here is as an anchor. it is at the center, so it will have maximum visual weight. Now contrast light face versus dark clothing and versus background. I locked on face. I locked on face. So you have a light face versus clothing. The face is more prominent now. In addition to this, size and shape. Now you will see a triangular or pyramidal composition that will make a stable, heavy base. So if it is triangular pyramid composition, that will make a heavy base here. How? Sharp face and hands versus soft fumato background that gives you a detailed weight. And what is the result now? Because of this face, because of these hands, and because of this background, eye goes face, hands, and return to face. So Mona Lisa is a prominent anchor. Because of this, you will see only the face of the Mona Lisa, not the background, because its visual weight has been created in such a way. So there is a parallel between the Mona Lisa and the landscape also. Same as a focal tree with clean lawn. You are taking a tree, you are taking a gantagar, and then you have a clean lawn. So Da Vinci balanced heavy portrait against a light aerial background. So this is a heavy portrait against a light background. That is why you only see towards the face of the Mona Lisa. So that means visual weight has been applied to Mona Lisa also. Now, how you will test your selfie points, as I have been saying that with the B&W test, which is black and white test. So you see a simple 3-step test to find stronger selfie points. How to test any spot? What is B&W mode? Black and white mode that will remove the color and shows only light versus dark. So if you are taking a photo and then you are putting in gallery to a B&W mode, what will be there? There will be no colors. It will show light versus dark. So it will reveal pure visual weight, what your eye sees first. How to test any spot? First you snap. Take a phone, photo on the spot in normal mode, and then you turn it B&W in your gallery, no editing, and then you look at the B&W photo for 1 second only. Now, what will happen in 1 second? If you find in 1 second one strong dark space plus clean light space, so if you instantly see the main anchor and empty background, it works. That is B&W test. So you evaluate what you see. If you see first the dark elements and the rest is light, it will work. Now how it will fail? If it looks like gray noise, people will look lost in photos. It does not work. Now in B&W, you check the selfie point, because when there is more colors, there will be more distraction. So white works, it strips away distractions. Black and white only. You see black and white, you see gray and dark, and shows what really matters. Helps you create photos where people and the scenery stands out. It works in any light, any place, with any camera. So you remember, if it passes the B&W test, it will look powerful in color. Suppose you are seeing this picture here. When the picture is actually this and you are making a BMW mode of it, so it is becoming more powerful. When in color, if it passes in BMW test, it will look powerful in color also. This is how you test your selfie with the BMW test. Now let us understand why Lal Chowk Ghantaghar has become a tourist selfie destination. Why it is a selfie magnet now? So let us understand it first. As we have seen that visual weight is a huge reason Lal Chowk Ghantaghar became a selfie magnet. But it is not the only one. Here is the breakdown. We will see them one by one. Visual weight, the clock tower dominates. What are the factors for its dominance? First is size and position. Now you see size and position. Size, it's tall. Position, it is central and it is isolated. Structure in wide open plaza. So it has an effect on selfie. There will be maximum visual weight. Eyes go there first on this structure. Second is the shape. Now see the shape of this Ghantaghar. It is strong shape. It has a vertical and it has a it has 4 dimensions, 4-faced clock. Now it anchors the frame. Person looks smaller and hero-like. Now it anchors the frame. Now a person is here and he will be in isolation with this frame. And then isolation, then after that there is a contrast now. White tower versus blue sky, dark mountains. And again that is making a contrast. So this contrast, sky and these and the white color of this, it pops in photos and it clean background and there will be no clutter, there will be no disordered jumble. And so isolation, that is stands alone, no competing tall structures. So there is a zero visual competition. When you are creating no competition with your anchor, and that is a tower, then a person can be with it, it will be a whole story. And then result will be maximum visual weight and the eye goes there first, not here, not here, not here. That will go towards this. This is how the Lal Chowk as a Ghantaghar has become a selfie magnet, because everybody who visits Kashmir has to go to Lal Chowk and take a selfie. Now there are other reasons also. But visual weight is not everything. Also driving it is symbolic weight. Symbolic weight is Lal Chowk is political, cultural heart of Kashmir. So if you are taking a selfie there, so it's equal that I was here is a proof. So it is a social proof that I have visited Kashmir and everyone copies that. So it has an Instagram ability. And there is a renewed space. Post 2020-22 redevelopment, wide plaza was made there, no traffic chaos, and clean stones and good lighting. That has also created a, this is because old, that is before 2022, we will see it in the next slide. But here it has been renewed as a space. So wide plaza is there, no traffic is playing, no chaos, and clean and open it is. Then there is a social proof also that once 10 reels go viral, everyone copies, and it has an Instagram ability. It becomes self-fulfilling now. And then also there is a 360-degree axis, can shoot from all sides, and morning light versus evening light, and there is two different selfie vibes. So here in Lal Chowk, the photo says Kashmir is normal. When you take a selfie at the Lal Chowk, Kashmir is normal as much as I am in Kashmir. So visual weight gets them to click, but symbolic weight gets them to post on an Instagram. The redesign that gave them space to do both without traffic or barbed wires in frame, because earlier Gantagar was having barbed wires, having traffic mess. Now barbed wires in the frame are no more there. That is why it went from security landmark to selfie landmark now. So this is how visual weight plus symbolic weight has made Lal Chowk a selfie magnet for the tourists and for the locals also. But here, let us have a quick test. We can compare Gantagar or with the Regal Chowk Gantagar, earlier Gantagar. Here we have the comparison. This is Gantagar now, and this is the Gantagar which was old one. You'll see here there is a mess. In this, there is a heavy one element and then empty plaza. And then there is this perfect selfie balance. But here what is there? There are many shops, many signs, traffic. Then there is a visual chaos, visual weight chaos. As you will see now, this clean open space, one strong focal point clock tower, light background, sky plus mountains, and eye instantly goes to the tower. So visual weight is a balanced and powerful. Here visual weight, when old one, it was chaotic and distracted. So one heavy focal point with a light background, a person at the center of the gravity. Same rule for Mona Lisa and Lal Chowk. The visual weight, the winner, the Gantagar now, is why one heavy element, clean background, centered subject, and balanced composition. As we have seen in the Mona Lisa portrait, same applies to this. This is how you can have a quick test of what was before and what is at this moment. Now there are visual weight map of Lal Chowk Gantagar as a selfie point. As we have been mentioning that this has become a selfie magnet now. And now why this works as a selfie point here, as we have seen that Gantagar clock tower is having a visual weight, high visual weight. It is size, details, isolation, and that pull immediate attention, give strong Kashmir context. Open plaza, and then it will have a visual weight medium low. So light empty stone plaza creates negative space, making you stand out in the photo. Sky and mountains as a background. The soft blue sky and distant mountains add depth and balance without distracting from the main subject. So a tourist, when you come, visual weight is a high focal point now. Your position in the frame with the tower behind you makes you the focal point of the image. You will be now the focal point of the image. So in short, Gantagar's strong presence, open plaza, soft background, and your placement creates a perfectly balanced and visually striking selfie, which is a memorable selfie. Now we have seen a Lal Chowk versus before 2022 and after. We are testing it now. Before 2022 and after its redevelopment, that is after 2022. You will see here that before, as we have seen, this is what was before. And what was the visual weight here? It was scattered everywhere. No isolated anchor. But here, in this visual weight map after 2020, you will see it's more at the center, no distractions. So that is why selfies went viral after 2022. as we have mentioned in earlier slides also, that we have removed visual clutter. We have removed the disordered uh, jumble, that is traffic, vendors, barbed wire, they are gone, and you have reduced weight is reduced because they used to reduce the weight now, and add negative space now. The wide stone plaza, lightweight, they balance it, and then you lit the anchor only. So when a light is only on the anchor and rest, tower lighting at night, heavy weight even after dark. And the fourth is a symbolic shift also, from conflict zone to a public plaza, and it has an emotional weight added to it also. So design equation is you remove heavy distractions in the frame, that's in the lol choke, and then you added light space and a frame. You frame the person, and then you have a person in the backdrop it is a gantagar. So this is why design matters now. Before 2022 and after 2022, that is the redevelopment. You have seen too much noise, no visual weight, eye gets lost. But here, clean frame, strong anchor, eye lands on what matters. So before and after you have seen in all the slides, but BMW mode also, you get one solid dark tower against light sky and stone. That is perfect visual weight. So redesign didn't just beautify, you have redesigned the lol choke. It didn't just beautify, but it engineered a viral selfie point using 500-year-old composition rule. And that composition rule is the visual weight. So you have created a more visual weight to a gantagar, and you have created a more negative space around the gantagar. That is why design matters.
So much for watching this presentation. If you watch other videos at YouTube channel Green Treasure, please comment, like, follow, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos.